Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Hi, yep, we can hear you.
Okay. Oh, tried to change my background. I couldn't figure out how to do it. Oh, well. There was a I don't know. Anyway, they keep changing things and I can't figure out how to fix them. Okay, well, welcome everybody. See, there's quite a few more people signed up, so give them a minute to show up. Or maybe they'll just listen to the recording later. I don't know. Anyway, let's go around and introduce ourselves and just let us know where you're from and what brought you here. Do you want to start, Corina? You're up at the top of my screen.
Yes, I can start. I'm in Holland.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I think I'm fascinated with Camelot since I was a small child. So in December, I went to Edinburgh and I traveled especially to see that place that it's said that maybe the Camelot was there. So
Oh, wow.
that's so I always react to anything that has to do with that.
Yeah.
That's my intention. That's why I'm here.
Well, welcome. Who else would like to introduce themselves? Anna, how about you?
Sorry, Bernadette, did you say my name or?
Anna.
Anna, okay. Sorry.
Yes, hi. I'm in Western Massachusetts.
Oh.
And I'm very much feeling affiliation with the fairies. I don't know too much about the fairies of Avalon, but so that's why I'm here.
Great. Welcome.
Thank you.
How about you, Megan?
Hey everyone, I'm Megan. Yeah, it was funny. I was wondering before you had sent this email, I was like, gosh, I wonder if Bernadette's gonna do a journey soon. And sure enough, like literally the next day, it popped up in my mailbox. So got the calling and absolutely love the journeys and working with the fairies and getting more comfortable in that realm. So that's why I'm here.
Great. Well, good to see you. Lauren. You're muted.
Yeah, there we go. I'm also from Western Massachusetts and a friend of Anna's, and also very interested in fairies and Celtic and Avalon. And I've read your things before, and so I'm just fascinated.
Great. Good to have you here. Marilyn.
Hi, everyone. My name is Marilyn. I'm from Canada, the province of Quebec. That explains the accent. I'm Francophone. And yeah, I love the journeys with Bernadette. It's not my first one, and I always find they're very powerful. I love the fairy energy. I've launched my Reiki practice recently, and I am now developing a way to channel fairy energy into my energy work. So yeah, I love this energy more than in any other. So yeah, I know it's going to be amazing.
Good to see you again.
you.
Brittany. You like to introduce yourself, or you have a microphone?
She said in the chat she can only chat, no mic.
Oh, okay. I don't have my chat open. Where is chat? I can never find things anymore. Oh, there it is. Chat previews. Can't even figure out how to open chat.
It's down below, but she said, "Hi, I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I am a doctor of Chinese medicine and acupuncture, but I feel called to bring some Avalon healing magic in."
Wow. Cool. Okay. How about you, Jeannie? Janine?
Hello, I'm Janine, and I'm interested in really anything New Earth, but also Celtic spirituality, and don't know a lot about Avalon, so I'm interested to hear that too.
Great. Well, glad to have you here. And Sophia.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I know Bernadette from other areas, and that's how I received the emails and message about this. I live in Kirkland, Washington, USA. I'm originally from Australia, and I've been going through quite the spiritual reawakening for a little while now. And so I'm here with an open heart and an open mind, and see what this is going to be all about and see if it's something that resonates with me.
Great. Okay, well, it looks like probably nobody else is going to be joining us, so I just wanted to start out by saying a little bit about Avalon and the new Earth. I've been working with Avalon Fairies for a long time, and the more I work with them, the more I've realized that their mission, even since way back in the Arthurian times, was to bring in this concept or this energy of the new Earth, which they did through Camelot. The fairies and the, King Arthur and Merlin and all the people involved co-created Camelot as kind of a template of the new Earth. And it wasn't its time to last yet at that time, but it feels like the time is coming when the new Earth is emerging on our planet, and some of us are living there already, some of the time anyway. For myself, I find that I kind of get pulled back and forth between the old reality and the new reality. But the new reality is definitely coming in. And I like the concept of Camelot, particularly because it's a co-creation between fairies and humans. And the fairies have the templates of the new Earth already in their realm. They already live there. And so they can bring that image into our mind, into our consciousness, so that we bring it forth into our daily lives. So does anybody have like a sense of what the new Earth means to you, or what the new Camelot means to you? Because it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. So, Sophia?
For me, the new Earth is about a different vibration. It's that living on a more conscious level. A lot of people talk about the shift from 3D to 5D, which I think is a big part of that. That's what it means to me.
Yeah, And how do you experience that?
It's like more of a leading from the heart and the soul,
Hmm.
a different part of me rather than the mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels that way to me too. Anybody else have any feelings about it, or Lorena? Yeah.
Yeah. For me lately, it feels like I embody some energies and I just have to distribute them, let's say, around me. So it's like I'm much more in my body now than I ever was in my whole life.
Well,
And I even told my daughter that now I finally have to learn to be human. So I need I need new skills, how to not to run away in other realities, but just to be here, because it feels like now I am aware that we are all one, and that's for me the new earth. And from that perspective, I can become my unique, what I came here to be.
yeah, great. Anna, did you have something to add?
I think maybe you mean Anna.
Anna? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I feel the same as the people who spoke. And for me, my experience is that life is so much more joyful now.
Mhm.
It's just as before, it was about struggle, survival, you know, what I consider the third dimension.
Mhm.
And it's just getting so much easier on all level to just, and easier and more enjoyable. So it's just a dimension of joy and ecstasy.
Yeah, great. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share?
I would. I was going to say something similar to what Anna just said, except that I'm still trying to move from the struggle, all the things we've all been taught, to the joy that she's experiencing. So I'm still in that process. But also what Karina said about having to be in the body. It's a time where I have to stop ignoring my body, because that's where the magic happens. And that's definitely a new way of thinking, because I was, thinking it's out there in the energy, the spiritual realm.
Mhm.
So it's all of that, and feeling the new energies come in. Um, that's basically what it's like, and just, I guess, looking forward to seeing how that all transpires and grows.
Mhm. Yeah. Anybody else like to share? Nice if you can have your camera on so we can see you. That's possible.
You'll see me staring off into the distance a lot,
That's okay.
out the window.
Just feels more connected when we can see you. Anybody else have anything they'd like to share about the New Earth, New Camelot experience? That you'd like to call in? For me, it's about effortless prosperity, just trusting the flow and cooperation between people, and stewardship of the earth and the ecosystems and the animals, and kind of a more compassionate relationship with the rest of life on our planet. And just that sense that we're all connected, like you were saying, Karina, we're all one. And treating each other and all life as if we are all one, because we are. So Avalon, as I experience it, is a part of the fairy realm that is most easily accessible to humans, at least to Western humans. I'm not sure what, China or India, what kind of experiences they have with the fairy realm, but those of us who are influenced by, the English and Celtic traditions tend to be very connected with Avalon and can easily access that energy. So traditionally, the Avalon fairies are healers, and they work to heal humans and each other and the planet. And they're very interested in working with humans, unlike some fairies who really don't want to have anything to do with us and are kind of disgusted with the way we've treated our planet. The Avalon fairies are very open to working with us and connecting with us, and they want to help us move to this next level of the new earth. So I really like working with them. So I would like to do a journey to Avalon so we can experience it for ourselves. So let's start by creating a bubble of sacred space around us, including our whole group and the people that will be listening to the recording later. Just imagine a beautiful iridescent bubble surrounding us that only lets in the highest energies of love and above. And we find ourselves in the center of this bubble, aware of the directions in front of us, behind us, to the right, to the left, above and below. And we run a grounding cord from the base of our spine all the way down to the core of Earth that anchors us to the energy of Earth. And you may feel energy running back up the cord into your heart. And run another cord from the top of your head up to the great central sun. And allow that star energy to flow down into your heart and all around you. And now I'd like to call in each of our higher selves, any of our spirit guides and angels who would like to participate with us today, our spirit animal allies, our fairy allies, any ancestors you work with, and any other beings that you feel would be important to have with you today. Call them into the bubble. And just notice how all these beings are raising the energy in the bubble. It's feeling lighter and more blissful. I particularly call in Merlin and Nimue, who will be our main guides today. Merlin and Nimue are co-conspirators in the plan to bring the new earth to our human experience. They've been working at this for hundreds of years. So now, just get yourself in a comfortable position and notice your breath moving in and out. Just naturally. Notice the elementals of air. Living sentient beings. Now you find yourself on the shore of a huge lake. And in front of you, you see a rowboat with a ferryman sitting in it. And he hops out and reaches his hand out to you, inviting you to step aboard the boat. And as you get seated, he pushes the boat out from the shore and jumps in and starts rowing across the lake. You feel the gentle rocking of the boat, hear the splashing of the oars, and the calls of seabirds that fly around overhead. You feel a cool breeze on your face. Smell the fresh air. And as you move out into the lake, you find yourself moving into a thick mist. And it gets so thick you can barely see your hand in front of your face. You still hear the splashing of the oars and feel the rocking of the boat. And you have a sense that you're getting close to your destination. Suddenly, the light penetrates the mist, and the mist begins to evaporate. And you see a beautiful island that seems to glow with an inner light. And on the island, there are woodlands and fields of wildflowers, apple orchards, and temples and houses. Feels like the most beautiful place you've ever been. And as the boat pulls up onto the shore, the ferryman jumps out, pulls it up onto the sand. Reaches out a hand to you to help you out of the boat. And as soon as your feet touch the shore, you feel like you're home. This is a place that's been calling to you for a long time. And you bid the ferryman farewell, and you start walking up a beautiful path through the woods. It's lined with wildflowers. And as you walk, you notice the birds singing in the trees and animals peeking out at you through the bushes, rabbits and deer and foxes, all kinds of forest animals. As Soon you come to the other side of the woods, to a wide open valley. And in this valley, you see beautiful houses, beautiful gardens, people walking on the streets and working in their gardens, singing together. Everyone seems to be joyful and living in harmony. And they invite you to go with them to their temple in the center of the island. There's a beautiful alabaster temple carved with intricate designs. And as you step inside, it feels like you've moved into a deeper realm of nature, into the realm of nature where everything is formed, everything is imagined, that eventually manifests as physical forms in our 3D reality. And these forms you see are fluid. Just by thinking about them, you can change their shape, you can change their movement. And the fairies invite you to shape them in whatever way is most pleasing to you. You begin creating a reality around yourself that feels like heaven on earth. Down to the smallest details. Now you notice that Merlin and Nimue have appeared. And they're adding to this picture, they're adding magic and beauty and ease and harmony and joy, and cooperation. And anything that you feel is important to have in the reality of the new Camelot. Now, take a few moments to have a conversation with Merlin and or Nimue. Ask any questions you might have. Tell them your dreams. They tell you that your vision creates your reality. What you envision day by day, moment by moment, creates forms in this etheric realm that eventually manifest in the 3D world or the 5D world. Now you notice that Morgan Le Fay and her sisters have arrived, and they're sending healing energy into this view, this vision of the new earth. And Guinevere has arrived. She sends the picture of the new Camelot into the vision. And by her side is King Arthur, who adds his input to the vision. And as you watch, this vision seems to get more and more solid, more and more real. Becomes part of your inner landscape. And you gather it up and pull it into your heart, where you can carry it with you wherever you go. And now you bid farewell to Merlin and Nimue, and Morgan Le Fay and her sisters, and Guinevere and Arthur. You thank them for sharing this vision with you. And you walk out of the temple back through the valley of Avalon. You seem to carry a new light with you. And everyone you pass smiles and waves, bids you farewell. You walk back through the woods to the shore where the ferryman is waiting for you. He helps you climb into the boat and pushes it off into the lake. He jumps aboard and starts rowing across the lake. You find that you're speeding across the lake much faster than before. You quickly land on the other shore. You find yourself returning to your body, returning to your normal waking consciousness. You thank the ferryman as he fades away. And when you're ready, start moving your body and bring yourself back into your room where you're sitting or lying. Come back and join us. Everybody back? Marina, are you back with us? Don't want anybody getting lost in fairyland. Janine and Brittany, are you back?
I'm back, but I didn't want to come back.
Well, you can always go back there whenever you want.
Okay.
Brittany says she's back in chat.
Yes, I figured out how to open chat. Thanks. Does anybody have anything they'd like to share about their experience?
It's like for me, when you stand before the journey, like what the new earth would look like, it's what I imagine is what I saw in the journey. It's this is I not my wish, but what I see is that it's like it would be fairyland on earth. Like I would see flowers, glittering flowers everywhere, nature everywhere. Um, of course, like you said, like harmony, great respect for animals. So, but for me, it relates mostly to nature, the trees, water.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's every time. It's not the first time I'm doing this exercise, but every time I do it, that's the way I imagine it. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and every time you do it, it makes it stronger.
Yeah.
Well,
And
oh,
yeah,
Jessica,
that's it. Thank you.
who else would like to share?
I just want to say that for me it was, I think, powerful because now I could imagine the place where there was a lake there, what you mentioned, and there were also the birds. So I felt like I could put it in a geographical position
Mm,
and also enter then in that magical realm that was maybe when I was there. I just felt it, but I couldn't see it. So it felt very much as the energy of the place I was, and there were a lot of people there, and I had the feeling that almost everybody who is really climbing, it's a kind of hill, gets charged with the energy, and that makes the whole place much warmer, and so it's like a place I can go back when
mhm.
I need to
Yeah,
reach the fairies.
right. It's a real place.
Yes.
Let's go back there. Anna, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yes, I'm trying to get the mic on. It was my first journey to Avalon. And yeah, it wasn't completely easy. Not the journey itself. I mean, landing on the island was wonderful. And I really felt ecstatic finding myself on the island. But then imagining the houses and the people, I felt a stranger there.
Hmm.
And it's a feeling that I brought with me to this life too. Wherever I am, I feel that I don't belong. And I had the same sensation. I couldn't really connect with the people in the street. But then I did connect with Marilyn in particularly. And when I had an opportunity to ask him a question, I said, "So what's my role here? What am I doing here?" And he said that, yeah, I'm here to welcome the people who are coming, the newcomers. And I said, yes, but I don't really have the sense that I belong here. And he said, well, that's why you are going to be the welcoming committee, because most people have, you know, would experience some kind of unease. Many people, as they make this shift into this new dimension. Yeah, I'm definitely, I have something to think about. it's not news to me, but I was surprised to find myself almost like a stranger there
Mhm.
visiting.
Maybe that's just because it's the first time you've gone there. It's not familiar yet.
Yeah. Yes. Except that it was so familiar, the not feeling belonging
Mm.
felt familiar, like anywhere else, you know, in my life or in the, you know, in my history that I can remember. So it will be interesting to see if it does change with time.
Yeah, and it seems like your connection with Merlin would make that easier to, you know, to feel connected there.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to share? Sophia?
So I found it quite enjoyable. Like when I got to the island, I felt so light and free, and I was suddenly in very flowy clothes and long flowing hair, and I'm running through the forest.
Oh.
And it was like a Disney movie in that way with the animals and things. And I couldn't really connect with the people that you mentioned, the names, like Merlin and things. And I don't know if that's because I'm not familiar with them
Mhm.
or not. I don't know. But what did come through for me was a lion. And it was kind of like the character in Beauty and the Beast, where it's kind of a lion slash man.
Huh.
And later this lion was walking with me as a lion out back through the forest.
Hmm.
And it was like it reminded me of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe type of lion character. And so I was wondering if that means anything to you.
Well, there is a connection with a lion in Arthurian lore. But to me, it feels like Arthur.
Or, mm,
I don't know. Does anybody else get on that? It just feels like his energy to me. So. What does it feel like to you?
I'm not familiar with Arthur, so I don't know, but it does feel that kind of kingly type of energy to him. I'll say him. Yes, it could be. Mm.
Yeah, he was the king that actually Merlin orchestrated his birth by tricking his mother into sleeping with this guy that he wanted to be Arthur's father. He disguised him as her husband, and that's how Arthur was conceived. And he was kind of part fairy, part human, and kind of destined to work with the fairies to create Camelot, that the kingdom of Camelot, which at its inception was a very harmonious, shared prosperity. You know, everybody had what they needed, and you know, the vision of it was very much the new earth energy. But then things happened in the story where everything kind of fell apart. but you know, they planted that seed. So Arthur is kind of instrumental in that. He was the king of the kingdom.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No? Okay. So the way I I see it as that this energy of the new Camelot, which very much is connected with Avalon, it's already active in our world. It's already, I mean, Earth, the planet has already moved into that energy, and nature has moved into that energy. And it's only humans that are, you know, kind of dragging our feet. And, but it's accessible to us. And, you know, I find myself sometimes I'll be really in that new earth energy, and I'll see something on the news and I'm just like, it's just so discordant. It's like, no, that's not the reality. That's the old reality, you know? And it's like, it's kind of like the world is splitting into this like old chaotic reality and this new harmonious reality. So, wanted to take another journey to actually go into Camelot and experience that energy for ourselves, and really anchor it in our consciousness, because the more we connect with it, the more we feel it in our bones, the more we're going to keep bringing it back into our reality, into our consciousness. And whatever we focus on becomes manifest in our life. So, you know, as much as we can focus on this new earth reality, this new Camelot, the faster it will manifest all around us, and the more we'll find ourselves living there. So let's get comfortable again. And just notice your breath moving in and out. Feel your grounding cord connected to the core of Earth. Feel your spirit guides and angels around you, supporting you. You find yourself walking through a wasteland. The ground is dry and cracked. Trees have shriveled up. Grasses are brown. The animals have vanished. Quiet and dead. And you wonder, what's the cause of this? Just doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel right. And as you're walking, a special fairy guide appears. She's one of the healers of Avalon. She tells you that long ago, humans and fairies lived in harmony and cooperation. And the fairies brought many gifts of abundance and effortless prosperity to humans. They shared the vision of their beautiful reality. But there were some humans who abused the fairies and broke that accord between humans and fairies, caused the well maidens to recede back into the fairy realm. The well maidens used to sit at the wells and offer food and drink to travelers. But they were abused, and now they're gone back to the fairy realm. And this has caused the wasteland. We can see it in our modern world. The plastic in the ocean, the pollution in our rivers, pollution in our air, the destruction of our soil, the lies and the cheating and the greed. It's all the worst of humanity has come to the surface. But in the distance, you see that there's green grass growing and trees and beautiful lush landscape. And in the center of that landscape is a beautiful castle. And you realize that you don't have to stay in this wasteland. And your fairy guide leads you along a path that gets more and more lush and green as you walk along it. First, just a few grasses along the sides, and then you begin to see flowers and trees and orchards full of ripe fruit. And you walk into this lush, beautiful land, and you realize you've entered the kingdom of Camelot. You hear music playing, you see people dancing. And there is someone there who's a special friend of yours. You may not have been aware of them before, but it's a fairy being who's connected with you on a soul level and always has been. Some call it the fairy co-walker. This being welcomes you to Camelot, welcomes you to this beautiful land of harmony and abundance and prosperity and joy and cooperation, where the streams run pure and the air is fresh. Take a breath of that fresh air. Feel how vital it is, full of oxygen. And notice that there are birds singing in the trees and children playing with wild animals. Humans and fairies living together in harmony, in deep respect. And you see that there's something that humans have to offer the fairies. There's a reason why the fairies want to work with us. And there's something the fairies have to offer humans. And that when we work together, we create a synergy that's greater than anything either of us could create on our own. And as you tap into that synergy, you begin to feel an expansive awareness of possibilities and probabilities that you may never have imagined before for the world and for your own life. And as you approach this castle, your fairy co-walker introduces you to Merlin and Nimue. We're standing outside the castle gates. And Merlin, as you may know, is a wizard, a magician, a wise prophet who guided King Arthur in his early years. Nimue is a fairy from Avalon, who is the consort of Merlin. Together they create a magical power that they want to share with you. The power of visualization, the power of creating your reality by knowing that there is a beautiful vision that you can bring to the world. Merlin and Nimue and your fairy co-walker lead you into the castle, into the great hall where there's a feast happening, and there's singing and dancing and abundance of all the most wonderful foods you could imagine. King Arthur and Guinevere sit at the head table, and the knights of the Round Table are feasting and enjoying the abundance. And you walk up to the head table and stand before King Arthur and Guinevere, Queen Guinevere. And Guinevere is one of the fairies of Avalon who incarnated as a human in order to help found the kingdom of Camelot. And they have a gift for you that represents what Camelot means to you. And you receive it. And as you receive it, it anchors the vision of the new earth in your consciousness so that you can access it whenever you choose. Knowing it's always there, it's a reality that you just have to focus on enough to bring it into your experience. You take this gift. If it's small, you put it in your heart. If it's large, you sort of put it into your energy field around you so that it will become part of your energy from now on. And now you may want to take some time to have a conversation with any of the beings we've met. King Arthur, Queen Guinevere, Merlin and Nimue, your fairy co-walker. Or perhaps someone else may appear. Take some time to ask questions and share your vision. And now thank them for sharing with you. Your fairy co-walker reminds you that it's time to return back to your normal waking consciousness. And they lead you back out through the castle gates, back through the lush lands, Camelot. And as you walk back, you notice that the wasteland has changed. Grasses are springing up and water is flowing. Trees are blossoming, birds have returned. And the flowing water sounds like it's singing. There's a new joy in the land. And you walk all the way back to where you left your body. Return to your normal waking consciousness. Move your body and stretch and ground yourself. Come back and join us. Hey, how's that for everybody? I had an interesting conversation with Arthur and Guinevere. I asked them how to bring this vision of the new Camelot to the world. And they said, you can't bring it to the world, you can only bring it to your own reality. And when you do that, it ripples out to the world because we're all connected. And again, as I've been told many times, you can't fix the matrix, you just have to let it go and focus on creating the new reality in your own life experience. So that was a good reminder. Anybody else have anything to share?
I can share. I got from King Arthur and Guinevere a heart, and that was with the message that this kind of combination between humans and fairies are possibles, and that's how we have to, not that we have to, but this is like the next step in creating the new earth, is to create communities.
Mm-hmm.
And that we cannot, up to now it was a kind of walking alone on kind of uncharted territories, but now we have to join in groups, even maybe not only virtual like here, but even physically, like Arthur brought all those how do you say in English, the people around the
knights,
table. I just know the Dutch name now.
the Knights of the Round Table.
The Knights, yes, the Knights, yes. So that's what's a kind of next step. But first you need to find that couple, because those two were from different worlds, and then around that couple you create a community.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I got.
That's beautiful. Do you want to say something, Megan?
Sure. Yeah, I also got this message of connection and community, and I asked them for their protection, and I asked them to give me guidance along the way and for whatever comes up. And I felt a lot of joy, a lot of lightness, and really getting this desire to connect with more people, yeah, in the physical, and be that channel, be that light. And I felt them very near. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Lauren?
Well, I've always had this vision of community, sustainable artistic communities like Camelot with a fairy museum and fairy school.
Mhm.
It's just like this yearning of that. But Merlin gave me a book, like a big leather book that was like a template that I could write and paint in, or that you'd open it and the images would come out.
Oh, wow.
It's nice.
Very cool. Who else would like to share? Sophia?
So my experience was interesting. The fairy being, the guide, was gray. It was like very, very tall, long hair, and they were gray. And as you said the words that we have something to give to them, humans have something to give to them.
Mhm.
I touched him and white started spreading through him. So he started to change from gray to white.
Oh, wow.
And it was also really meaningful to me because that was also the time where you said that it's a synergistic relationship, and that's exactly the words that I came out with in meditation yesterday, a synergistic partnership. So that was really meaningful to me, that the same word came out. And I got a golden object. It seemed to be a golden key from Arthur, which I straight away put into my heart even before you said that. And I asked the fairy being, how do I keep you this way? Like, how do I keep you white, essentially? And then I get songs, I get lyrics from songs as part of the way I receive messages. And what came through was from this song, Tell Me Now, and it was Don't Let Me Go.
Yeah. I think just remembering them and acknowledging that they're there is a big
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Brittany has put something in chat. Mine was about how the breaking of the accord and the abuse of the well maidens creating the wasteland and the relationship with British Empire and cancer. How greed has altered our DNA as well as the land. How to bring the well maidens back and heal the accord, the land and our bodies. Wow, yeah, that's profound. Anna?
So yeah, so I shared with you how I had difficulty connecting on the first journey. And so it was wonderful that in this journey, I got my fairy ally, the one that I've known for almost 30 years. And interestingly enough, she does, I've always called her the Lady of the Lake or the Queen of the Lake because she lives in a lake. She has a connection to a lake. And she also looks very much like the beautiful Avalon fairies. She's very tall and beautiful. And I've had her as a mentor for many years. And so she was there right away. She was in her element. It was her environment. And so I felt so much better. And also meeting Marilyn and Nimoy felt very, very easy and natural. And was lovely. And Marilyn gave me a bird, a small bird. And right away, as soon as he gave it to me, I just opened my hands and just let it fly. So I thought about it afterwards. a little bit, but the thing that really comes to me, the gift, it's a gift of a soul, a human soul. And I think my difficulty in in this lifetime have always been more to connecting to humans. And so when we were coming into this big hall in the palace, with all the knights and the king, and I was just like, ooh, my the fairy being was very was not comfortable in that. But I stayed there and was kind of allowing myself to feel the discomfort and my relationship with even those wonderful humans who had this vision, and still there was a little separation. So I'm noticing all of that, but it's definitely was much easier than the first journey. And I made it all the way inside the hall, and yeah. So I already can see in my relationship with the Avalon that the fairies are the easy ones for me to connect with. They're very natural and very welcoming and easy, and the humans are harder.
Yeah, I find that too.
Thank you.
Who else? Are you back with us, Janine?
Yes, I am. I had a couple of interesting things happen. Well, first, the thing that I wanted to share was that the landscape was so beautiful once we got to the part that wasn't the wasteland. It was brighter and bigger, more beautiful than anything that I've ever seen. And then when we got to the castle and the feast, it was interesting because the feast was happening in a different time. And I didn't want to go to whatever time that was. So I walked away from the feast and was like wandering off and exploring. So whenever I had a conversation, it was somewhere else. So that was cool. And then I had a conversation with the healer, and we sort of agreed that we were going to continue to connect on this side.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, Marilyn, did you have anything you wanted to add? Oops, you're muted. Oop. There you
Sorry,
go.
was I on mute?
You were on mute. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So I was saying I'm still quite emotional from the journey. I experienced lots of joy at the end. So I always feel a sense of peace and calm and belonging during these journeys. And after we went to the wasteland, you said there's a castle. And I just ran in the castle and joined the feast. So, yeah, there was so much joy there. And after when you said, okay, you are at the gate of the castle, I was, okay, I went too fast. Had to get out of the castle. And Nimoy, when you said, well, I sat down and Nimoy like put her hand on my forehead and on my heart, and Marlene was standing behind me. So maybe I don't know what she did. It looks like some kind of energy work. And after I went to sit at the table with Arthur and Guinevere, and I feel very much empowered. And yeah, it's when I asked that, how can you help me? And Merlin and Nimoy said they are always with me, standing by me. So,
Yeah.
that's what I find. It's very moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the gift I received, it was like a white sphere. And at first it was quite clear, and it's like within the sphere I saw like the new world, and I kind of saw like some flowers, but it came more like white, and it was thrown in my heart. Yeah, so that's pretty much summarizes my journey.
Beautiful. So we've all had a little bit unique taste of Camelot and the sense of the new earth energy that we will carry with us from now on. And the more we tap into it, you know, I try to tap into it, you know, several times a day at least if I get distracted, and I try to bring myself back, like, this is the energy I want to live in. And, you know, there are things that happen that pull me out of it, but I feel like the more of us that are focusing on bringing this energy into our lives, that will create that synergy that makes it and kind of blossom in the world around us. So we're kind of the forerunners anchoring this energy into the new world here, into the human consciousness.
Yeah, this is one thing I remember during the journeys, that I have to maybe meditate more about the journeys or reconnect with how I feel during the journeys, like every day, at least once a day too, because I feel so good. So it reminded me that as well.
Yeah, it takes a lot. I mean, because we've all been conditioned for, you know, lifetimes after lifetimes that, you know, this is the way the world is. It's all about struggle and competition and, you know, all the stuff that seems normal when we grow up, but then we realize, wait a minute, that's not the way it's supposed to be. You know? And so we kind of have to retrain our brains to focus on the beautiful, harmonious reality that is right here. Just we can tap into it whenever we want to. But we have to make that choice. We have to make that decision to return to it over and over again till our brain says, okay, this is it. This is the reality I'm going to live in, you know.
I'm thinking about that and what that would be like for me. I guess maybe have like little moments of meditation or something, visualization, because what I'd really have to be doing is thinking that I'm in a little bubble, you know, separate from whatever else might be going on around me. So maybe I can sort of visually create that and then just keep going back to it.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a bubble, but it also feels like the bubble includes the whole world. You know what I mean? It's like I have my own little bubble of experience, but yet the whole world is going through this transformation to the new reality. And even though a lot of individual human consciousnesses haven't caught up with that yet, it's there.
So
And
would you superimpose it on whatever else is in front of you, or is that kind of what you mean?
sort of. I guess for me it feels like, I mean, at first it was mostly like my own little bubble. I'm just creating this reality of harmony and effortless abundance and all that. And then lately it's more like tapping into the reality that's already there, that Earth has already moved into, nature has already moved into, and in realizing that, you know, my bubble can be that big.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Thanks.
Oh. So does anybody else have anything to share before we go? Yeah.
Wanted to ask you about integrating. It's kind of living in two realities. And I guess sometimes I feel like if I'm driving the car, for example, and yet I'm all kind of floaty with this in this other energy, and I sometimes wonder whether that's safe, for example. I just question how to blend the two. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think the question of safety, it's kind of a 3D question. I think, you know, I mean, you can call in protection. Like I always have my dragon go with me when I'm driving as a protection.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's kind of the old reality of like, I'm vulnerable, something could happen to me, you know, that kind of concern.
Right.
Whereas in the new reality, we're just trusting the flow and everything moves harmoniously forward. So I think
Right.
it is that kind of divided mind, like part of us still has the 3D reality that we're clinging to.
That makes sense. It's like I'm still in that kind of transition where I'm still kind of going back and forth a little bit. And yeah.
I think pretty much all of us are in that, that place,
Right.
right?
Right. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, well, I encourage everybody to tap into the new Camelot energy every day and, you know, ask your fairy co-walker and any of the guides that you feel connected with, Merlin or Nimue or any of the Avalon fairies or whoever you have on your team, ask them to support you in connecting with that, the joy and the harmony and the feeling of cooperation that's there to tap into. At least once a day. I try to do it multiple times a day. Every time I find myself getting caught up in a news story or something, it's like, whoop, nope, that's not the reality I want. Okay.
I also want to ask, just sorry, is that maybe easy if we have somewhere really like a physical place, like even a small pot with flowers or something? Because when we had the last experience, let's say, I somehow thought of the special places. I know in Ireland there are like those places where everybody knows that's the Faeries entry. They even have a name for it, and then nobody is going to build there anything. That it's the same for century. So that's why I was thinking if we can create like a small fairy garden or whatever that could help us embody even more these energies.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Anytime we're working with magic, which is what we're doing when we're envisioning a new reality, finding a way to anchor it into the physical world is really important, you know, to even if it's just a little object that we have that reminds us of it, or a fairy garden or whatever. Yeah, something that anchors it into the physical realm can really bring that consciousness to our mind. So yeah, if you have a place to plant a fairy garden, that would be great, or just have like a little a statue or a crystal or whatever kind of reminds you of that energy. Kind of focus on that. Hey, everybody, feel complete?
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. It's always
Thank you, Bernadette.
Thank
wonderful.
you.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bernadette.
All right. It's always great to connect with my newer cohorts. All right. We'll see you again, I hope. Bye.
Bye.